Isabel had never known freedom. Born into slavery, she was separated from her mother as a child and sent to the vast Santa Cruz plantation, where work never ceased. For the enslaved, days began before sunrise and ended long after the stars filled the sky. Isabel grew up surrounded by the harshness of the fields and the cruelty of the overseers. But even amidst the suffering, there was something in her eyes, a silent resistance, an inner strength that no one could extinguish. At 18, Isabel became the target of a new and even more sinister cruelty. Antonio, the plantation owner, was known for his greed and brutal treatment of those under his control. When he noticed Isabel's beauty, he decided to use her in ways that would leave her scarred forever. "From now on, you'll be more useful," Antonio said one afternoon, his cold smile sending shivers through her body. That night, Isabel was forced into the bedroom of one of the overseers. It was the first of many nights of horror. The impact of the nights of horror. Each night, Isabel endured unimaginable suffering. By day, she worked in the fields under the gaze of other enslaved people, who looked at her with a mix of pity and fear. They knew that any attempt to defend her could cost them their lives. Isabel bore her pain in silence, but deep within her, a determination began to take shape. She would find a way to escape. At night, as she wept in her quarters, Clara, an older enslaved woman known for her nurturing nature, often sat by her side. "Don't let them break you, Isabel," Clara would say, pressing a damp cloth to her forehead. "They may control our bodies, but they can never own our spirit." These words ignited a spark of resistance within Isabel, who began to secretly plan her liberation. The spark of hope. One night, while in the room of an intoxicated overseer, Isabel overheard something that would change everything. The man, drunk and careless, mentioned a safe in the plantation's library. According to him, it held documents detailing illegal activities, including the trafficking of enslaved people and smuggling operations. Isabel realized these papers were her weapon, a means to expose Antonio and bring his empire down. The next morning, Isabel shared what she had heard with Clara. "If we can get those documents, we can expose him," Isabel said with determination in her voice. Clara, though cautious, agreed. Together, they began to meticulously plan their next steps, knowing that a single mistake could cost them their lives. Building alliances. Isabel started observing the routines of the plantation's masters more closely. She discovered that the library was often left unlocked on Friday nights, when Antonio and his guests indulged in drinking and gambling. This was her opportunity. In addition to Clara, Isabel formed a small group of trusted allies among the enslaved. One of them was Pedro, a young blacksmith known for his courage and resourcefulness. "If we're going to do this, we have to be ready for anything," Pedro said as he adjusted a tool that could double as a weapon. For weeks, the group met in secret, carefully plotting their escape. The night of the theft, the long-awaited night arrived. While the plantation's main house bustled with guests, Isabel entered the library under the pretense of cleaning. Her heart pounded, but her face remained calm. She opened the safe and found what she had hoped for: contracts, lists of enslaved people sold, and incriminating letters. Carefully, She hid the documents under her skirt and left without drawing attention. Back at the quarters, she spread the papers on a makeshift table as the group gathered around. Clara, with tears in her eyes, said this could change everything. But they all knew the real challenge was yet to come: escaping alive. The escape. That same night, the group began their journey to freedom. They used an abandoned tunnel known only to Clara, which led them beyond the plantation's boundaries. The forest was dense and dark, and every sound seemed to signal the approach of the overseers. Though fear was constant, Isabel's determination kept the group united. After days of travel, enduring hunger, cold, and exhaustion, they reached a city where they were welcomed by an abolitionist group. The documents Isabel had risked her life to retrieve became powerful evidence against Antonio. The Santa Cruz plantation was exposed as a symbol of slavery's horrors. Isabel's transformation. Even in freedom, Isabel carried the scars of her past. But she refused to let them define her. She became an activist for abolition, sharing her story and fighting for those still trapped in slavery. Her words inspired many, turning her into a symbol of resistance and hope. Isabel's story demonstrates that even in the darkest moments, resistance is possible. Her courage not only changed her fate but also the lives of many others. Want to know more about this story and many others we still have to share? Then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, a new story comes straight from our mysterious archive, filled with tales and accounts we've gathered from various sources. Cases with stories that will give you chills. Also, don't forget to share this video with that friend of yours who loves a good mystery.